Okay, good morning, class. As we discussed in class, the Renaissance period is characterized by humanism, which is a philosophy that focuses on the abilities and the accomplishments of man. The Renaissance rediscovers the individual. During this period, portraiture assumes a new importance. And the new prosperity of the Italian city-states that is a result of capitalism enables the wealthy to commission portraits for a number of reasons. We have seen portraits in art history prior to this. Remember this Ka statue of the seated scribe from early Egyptian times? There's an intelligence in his eyes, but it's unlikely that the deceased man actually looked like this. Ancient cultures rarely tried to represent the individual. The faces were generally types. So we can see an intensity in the eyes of this individual, but it probably was not what this man actually looked like. The bust of Queen Nefertiti is probably not an accurate portrayal of what she looked like, but we do get the impression that this woman was powerful, wealthy, and beautiful. And that's really all they were trying to get across. In this portrait that was found in the ashes of Pompeii, we see a couple. Now, this one is a little bit better or a little bit different. When I say better, what I mean is that we can see a little more individuality in their eyes here, in their portrayal. It's a little bit more sensitive. We know a little bit more about this couple from the portrait. It probably is a relatively accurate depiction of what they looked like. This is a wedding portrait. The woman is holding this stylist, and the gentleman here is holding a scroll. And those are the attributes of educated people. Now, whether or not they were educated, we're not sure. They probably were not. But the convention of the time was that you would, rent these clothes and these attributes and have your portrait done when you were newly married. But we know that the Romans were a little bit better as far as representing sometimes brutally realistic images of people. Remember some of those portrait busts of Caracalla and Marcus Aurelius that were very emotional and quite realistic. All right. So, as we move into the Renaissance period, well, let's back up just for a second here. In the Middle Ages, with its focus on the divine and spirituality, we see very little in the way of portraiture. Almost every work of art during that time period was commissioned by the Catholic Church. During the Renaissance, we have a wealthy class of individuals who are in a position to commission secular artwork, which has no religious purpose whatsoever. In this painting, the subject is presented in strict profile, which was the convention in the early Renaissance. Note her wealth, which is apparent by her clothing, by the jewels she's got on her clothing, and by the rich fabrics that are presented here. She's being observed over here by a man. That's kind of on the edge of the canvas. So my question is, who are they? And what's the function of a portrait like this? Although it's beautifully rendered, we have very little information about their personality. Very little emotion is displayed here. This one too, beautiful, but with that in that profile, we don't necessarily get too much of their personality or their emotion. So what was the function of a profile portrait like this? As we move further into the Renaissance, artists like Ghirlandaio and Da Vinci imbue their portrait subjects with more emotion, which is characteristic of humanism. It's noteworthy, too, that they have these background scenes painted into the portraits as well. Your task today is to carefully observe all of these images. Ask yourself the questions that are posted on the assignment, which is posted on Schoolwire's page. Who is the subject? What do you observe? Tell me, are they rich or are they poor? Are they old? Are they young? Notice the pose. Are they in strict profile, three-quarters view, full frontal? Describe the hair, the clothing. Can you see the subject's hands? How are they positioned? All right. What's in the background? All right. So I want you to carefully observe these things. And then before you even do any research on it, I want you to speculate on what do you think the function of something like this would be? Is it to commemorate an event? Is it to record their features for family members of future generations? Is it to celebrate a king, a warrior? Is it to extol the beauty of a woman, or some other function that you can think of, right? We have all of these beautiful portraits here, all right? So next thing is I want you to select one of the portraits to analyze. Research the painting in your textbook or on this link that I have provided for the Metropolitan Museum, or on some other very authoritative source, all right? And you know what I mean by authoritative, please. Log into Schoology before 2 o'clock, respond to the discussion question, and then you must also read your classmates' response and respond to those your classmates as well, if you want to get full credit for the day's work. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.